Hello. I know it may seem odd that I'm talking about this in a closet, but I'm just trying to block out the sounds from outside. Um, so I just wanted to talk about this experience I had on an airplane flying back from a wedding, and it was unlike anything I've ever had. Um, the only way I could really describe it is that it was like the event happened in my own mind. I was just sitting there, my eyes closed, attempting to sleep, when I just saw this basically like an explosion in my mind. And it wasn't anything like my own thoughts coming about in my own mind. It was completely different. It was like something was just downloaded into my mind and I was unable to stop it. It was going like 100 miles an hour. It was extremely intense. It was extremely fast, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks. Um, Basically, what I saw was like this kaleidoscope of light, this intense kaleidoscope of light, and it was breathing in and out. So whatever this was, I believe that it was actually God. It was breathing in and out. It was breathing in information and experience, and it was breathing out new creation. It was like taking breaths, breathing in and out, and in each breath, this cycle just repeated itself and continued forever and ever. And I saw contained within this kaleidoscope what felt like the entirety of all creation that ever was, and all these little points of light. And in this kaleidoscope, I started to pinpoint, started to kind of go into certain points within the kaleidoscope, and I would see different scenes. I saw many of my own lives being played out, um, where I was all kinds of very interesting and strange life forms. I saw myself as like this very colorful, large space jellyfish, is the only way I could describe it, where it seemed like I wasn't even like the size of a planet, but rather like the size of a solar system. And I was with other space jellyfish. We were just floating through space, and these things were absolutely stunningly beautiful, just full of colors and full of light. They were sort of etheric. I saw other lives, beings that resembled what I can only describe as like cartoon characters. Like they looked so ridiculous. Um, I saw one where I was a half chicken, half humanoid type creature. It was incredibly ugly, but interesting. And so I kept seeing all these scenarios play out and all these different lives I was living simultaneously within this kaleidoscope. And then I sort of kind of broadened my view, and I saw a variety of more events taking place, from the worst of the worst to the best of the best, and everything in between, the most loving to the most hateful actions by beings from all over. And I began to get really upset because some of the things that I was seeing were extremely horrible. Just for example, I was seeing scenes that kind of resembled Middle Ages villages being plundered and people getting killed mercilessly and heartlessly, and wars and all this bloodshed and horror, and it almost like brought me to tears. And then I kind of stepped outside of that, and I noticed that these horrible things and these loving things, they kind of complemented one another. I don't really know how to explain it. It's almost like they canceled one another out. It's like the love like overwhelmed the evil or something. And in the kaleidoscope scene, it almost looked like the only way I would describe it was like the game of Tetris. It's like all these points were kind of fusing together and canceling each other out, and all these events were like coalescing into just one large event, and it's all just one large event. Everything that ever was and ever will be is just this one large kaleidoscopic event. And it felt like a thought of God, and they were canceling each other out, and I got this understanding that really strange. I don't know how to explain, like almost like the source himself doesn't have all the answers. He doesn't. And there are mysteries even to the source, mysteries of creation, mysteries of life, mysteries of being, mysteries of thought, everything. And I even kind of went beyond this kaleidoscope, and I saw what looked like things merging from outside the source, which doesn't even make any sense, but they were like these really subtle thought forms and shapes and patterns that were just emerging from the void, and they were fusing within this kaleidoscope, and then the kaleidoscope with sort of mix that with the experience of creation when it would breathe in, and it would mix these forms, and it would breathe out new creation. And so this happened over the course of several minutes, and I'm just sitting there and I can't figure out what's going on, and I couldn't get this vision out of my mind. I would open my eyes and it was still there, and it was like just being hit by a train, so intense, so amazing. And it's alright though. I got this sense like everything is as it should be, and everything is okay, and no matter what, everything is perfect. And I'm really excited to see what my eternal life will hold, and all the future lives I will have, and everything I will experience. And I also saw myself at one other point as being like a teacher. I was speaking to a crowd of people in what felt like a future life, and I was teaching them and helping them grow spiritually. That was the most fulfilling part of that moment. And then just as quickly as it came, it just went away, and I just like opened my eyes, and that was that.